Look at that. It's all gone. All brand new houses in its place. Another part of my history gone for good. Hello, welcome to this week's video. I'm on Butterbiggins Road in Govan Hill, and the reason I'm here is because of my dad, my late dad. These houses behind me stand in the site of an old bus garage that was there since 1929. The bus garage was called Larkfield, and it's where my dad used to work. You see, my dad was a bus mechanic, and he spent all his working days almost working in Larkfield garage. So I've come here as a little memory trip. The side entrance or up the yard was on Butterbiggins Road, which is up there. This is Victoria Road. So I'll have a little look around and I'll tell you about my dad, and then afterwards we'll take a trip down to the Star Bar where my dad used to go for a pint. Star Bar's quite famous for something which you may or may not already know. So let's have a look around, shall we? So this is Butterbiggins Road. It's a funny name, that, isn't it? Butterbiggins. When I was younger, I used to always imagine that it was a Mr. Biggins had a factory here that made butter. But nothing could be further from the truth. That's the Butterbiggins Medical Centre. Look at that lovely old building. See, there's some of the old buildings still left. Those two over there too. Butterbiggins comes from two old Scots Gaelic words. Butter from bothar, meaning a causeway or a road, and Biggins means houses. So Butterbiggins was a little hamlet here in the past. It simply meant houses on a causeway or a road. Nothing to do with Mr. Biggins making butter after all, eh? And still the houses go up. So over here, all these houses here are all built on top of the yard where the buses would drive into the side entrance. And that's where my one and only time driving a double-decker bus was in there when I was about 3 or 4. And I'll tell you about that when we get to the pub. Still signs of Larkfield here. Oh, if only my dad could see the place now. Can somebody tell me if there used to be a cinema on this road? I know the O2 Academy was a cinema, but was there one up here? I've got memories of going to the cinema, and I thought it was about here, but I may be wrong. My memory will serve me correctly, but I remember my mum bringing us into the cinema. She would put us into the cinema, that's me and my sister, and then when my dad came out of work, he would come and pick us up. One of the films I remember seeing was Battlestar Galactica, so that'll give you an idea what year that was. Mid-70s maybe. I don't know if it was a cinema here on this road or whether it was in fact the building that's now the O2 Academy. Maybe you could let me know if you're from this area. That building is over there, that's amazing. Further up here is Victoria Road where all the shops are. A nice little place to come for a wee day's shopping, lots of independent shops, a few charity shops, etc. It's a nice wee bit, and away up at the top of the road takes you straight into Queen's Park. Look at all the shops on this busy street. Very amazing, yeah? Right, let's head to the Star Bar and I'll tell you my story. There is the Star Bar there at the bottom of this tenement, right in the corner. We call it a gushet here in Scotland. Isn't that beautiful? It says St Andrew's Cross up on the building. The building was built in 1892, and occupying the ground floor of it is the Star Bar. Now it's just recently been purchased, I think, last year. How appropriate, there's a nice bus. Anyway, let's go into the Star Bar and I'll tell you all about it. Oh, this is amazing. So this is the pub my dad used to come to after his work with his mates. They probably had the 3-course lunch. They've had to put the prices up recently, such as life, inflation and all that, but it's still got to be one of the cheapest in Glasgow. £6 to £8 for a 3-course. You can't beat that. So the Star Bar's always been in my memory, not because I've been here, but because my dad used to always talk about it. And I used to think it was a funny name, being a little kid, Star Bar, because it rhymed obviously. It wasn't that long ago, it used to be £3, £2.50, £3, £3.50, £4, and now it's gone up to £6. But you still can't fault the pub. This is absolutely tremendous value. Lovely. So I've ordered the chicken casserole, which is a special today. It's not on the menu. And then I'll have creamed rice, pudding, with no ice cream. This is absolutely delicious, so it is. Just what you need in a cold January lunchtime. It's quite full. There's 2 sides to the pub. This is the lounge bit. Through the other side is the bar, which I'll show you soon. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables occupied, so it's very popular. And who knows how many through in the bar area. People have been coming here for 80 years. There's evidence that it was a pub here from the 1930s, I think 1939. Not sure. If you know anything about the Star Bar, sorry, I'm bumping the camera up and down. If you know anything about the Star Bar, how old it is, and did you used to come back in the day, the 70s, the 60s, I'd love to know. It's an iconic pub. By the way, I've still to tell you my story about driving the bus. When I was 3 or 4. A double-decker, no less. Amazing.
Did you enjoy that?
Aye, could I get a glass of fresh orange?
Aye, do you want ice in it?
Aye, please.
£2. You've got to pay it
We pay that separate? That's no bother, eh?
separate for this.
Oh, no problem.
There
you go.
What do you call it? Cheers. Fresh orange and ice?
Yes, please. Oh, very nice. Do you put vinegar on your peas? I do. Wee bit of brown sauce on the chips. Look at this. Brilliant, thank you very much.
You're welcome, pal. All right.
Lovely. By the way, just to let you know, I think it's cash in here. Cash only. If you're coming, the thing is, paying with credit card incurs fees, isn't it, for the seller? And if they're selling the dinners as cheap as this, you don't want to start paying with card. So, hence the cash only. It's a tremendous service they're doing for the people around this area and people that come to visit, including myself. Absolutely delicious. I would normally have a pint of Guinness, but I'm driving, so hence the fresh orange. It's just like homemade comfort food. Absolutely delicious. If you think a McDonald's or a Burger King is about nearly a tenner now, just for your basic meal, this beats it hands down. Healthier as well. It would have been even healthier if I'd have went for the mash instead of the chips. So through in the lounge, they've got these lovely wee booths. They would seat 4 people. Speed the table. So I think I'm right in saying this, that the owner of this pub who bought it last year was or is the owner of the Arlington. The pub that holds the Stone of Destiny. Does it? 10 out of 10. That was fantastic.
You enjoy?
Oh, aye.
Nice. It's a nice meal because see when you pay for a cup of tea and a sandwich.
Oh, I know.
And you're getting a full 3 course.
Exactly,
You know what
aye.
I mean? It's
Aye.
well worth it.
Well, this is my 3rd time here. My
Aye.
dad used to come here all his life. He
Aye.
worked in Larkfield.
Oh, what was his name?
Charlie Angel.
Okay, I've been here 46 years.
Have you?
So I,
So you remember him, yeah?
Of course, aye.
Oh, brilliant.
I knew them all. I worked in that.
Aye.
Because the bus stop was out there.
Aye.
Out there, and I used to drive up and go.
Aye.
But they knew him. They knew
Aye,
him.
aye.
And like that. They used to say, "Do you get in?" He parked and things like that.
Because my mum used to say if he wasn't in by a certain time, she'd go, "Oh, he's away at the Star Bar.
Aye.
He'll not be into you."
Aye, Charlie. Aye,
Whenever.
I know. So
Aye.
I know, done it.
I know, innit? I know. So I'm doing a wee video about Larkfield Garage and all that, and
Aye,
just my
brilliant.
dad used to come to and he'd come in here and all that.
And that's what I say. I mean, the bus stop was out there.
Aye.
I knew all the bus drivers.
Aye.
Because of the bus stop, and I've been here 46 years. So
Well, that's amazing.
I know, so I knew them all.
Aye.
I don't really know any of them now.
No.
Because the bus stops are right down there. And
Right.
away up
It's just,
and they can't do what they used to do years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But they were the days when it was up
aye,
there. And,
aye. Brilliant.
They
That's
were the
absolutely
days,
brilliant.
weren't
Absolutely, aye.
How things change.
Well, I was just saying, my dad got me to drive a double-decker bus when I was 4.
Seriously?
Sat me on his knee and we drove through the garage with it. And I'd open the door and let his pal in. And that sticks in my head, you know.
Aye, amazing. But
I
that,
think
listen,
if
that's
anybody
a good memory.
if our dad was to do that now, he'd suddenly get fired, wouldn't he?
Of course, about health and safety.
Aye, it's unreal.
Oh, without a doubt.
Isn't it?
Oh, aye.
Unbelievable.
But that's what I'm saying, it's amazing. They just don't want us to live.
I know.
They don't want us to have
I know,
fun.
I know.
The fun's all taken out.
Exactly.
So all we're doing is sleeping and working.
I know. Scared to do anything. Even scared to say anything.
Yeah.
In case you offend people and all that, man. Aye. Well, that's amazing. And Barley Day remembers my dad. Even though my dad died in 1993. She says she's been here 46 years. That's incredible. That's just made my day. Ah, that's made my day. So, back to the story about me driving a bus, a double-decker bus when I was 3 or 4. So I was in the bus garage, my dad had took me in for some reason, I don't know why. And he sat me up in his lap in the bus, in the driver's seat, and he started to drive. I was to hold on to the steering wheel and steer it. And his friend, his pal, was going to put his hand out for the bus. This was in the garage, it wasn't out in the street. It was going right down the centre of the garage. So I was to stop the bus, which my dad done, but I was to and I was to press the green button, or the button to open the door, and let his pal on, and then I was to press the other button to close the door. But I was that excited pressing the buttons that I remember pressing the open door, and before his pal could get on, I'd pressed the close door, and the Dubai folding doors closed and jammed his cigarette. That stuck in my mind all those years ago. Can I get the creamed rice just in its own? Is it warm, aye?
Aye.
Right, just in its own, aye. Yeah, as I was just saying to the bar lady there, if a dad was to do that now for his kid, he'd probably get fired.
I'll be your carer. Hurry up and I'll take you to the toilet.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is absolutely brilliant, this pub. Absolutely brilliant. That's a top barmaid. Makes the customers feel welcome. That's just made my day. The bar lady knowing my dad. Oh my goodness. See, he died when I was only 27. I wonder if he sat in this seat.
He's a funny guy, mind you.
I'll tell you who did sit in here to review the place. Gary Eats. He came up here. If you've not heard of Gary Eats, you know, first of all, what planet do you live on? Highly recommend his channel. But anyway, he reviews restaurants, pub grub, now takeaways, and he very, very, very rarely gives a 10 score. Do you know what he gave the Star Bar? A 10 star, funnily enough. Because of the service it provides. But he was bang on right. Apparently they have karaoke's in here at the weekends. I can see a disco ball up in the ceiling up there. I love old bar mats, beer mats, beer towels, I love all that. I've got a whole bag full that my dad acquired. Old tenants and all sorts. Got a whole bag full of them in the house. So the guy that bought this pub said he would keep it as it is because it's one of the rare pubs in Glasgow where the decor is just as it was. It gets freshened up of course, but just got that old feel about it. He's done up the outside of it, very tastefully I must admit. But he stuck to his word. And he said he wouldn't get rid of the famous 3-course lunch, keeping it as cheap as he possibly can. In this day and age, that's between £6 and £8, which is incredible. How you doing, all right?
Can I?
That's made my day. You remember my dad?
Aye.
Aye.
It's actually small, isn't it?
That is.
God, I knew them all. Jimmy,
Aye.
Thompson, and
Aye.
they're all dead now.
Aye, so was my dad.
Aye,
My dad died young, he was only 53.
Aye. Sad, isn't it?
Aye. I think it was down to lying in that oil and breathing in diesel and all this, you know?
without a doubt.
Aye, probably was. That's some picture, isn't it?
I just
So that's the Star Bar. That's me just finally left the Star Bar. I got chatting away to a great guy in there, Tam, if you're watching. Nice talking to you. What a place that is. I absolutely highly recommend you come here if you're nearby. The Star Bar on Eglinton Street, right at the gushet. Super Asia, that's another great place to come for your spices, etc. If you make your own curries, I make my own curries. And I come here for my ingredients. It's better than and cheaper than buying it in like Tesco and Asda, etc. So one final look at the Star Bar right at St Andrew's Cross. I don't know if it's still called St Andrew's Cross, but the ghost sign is still up there on the building. Fantastic pub. £8 for the 3-course. And it was £2 for the orange juice. So it was £10 altogether. Don't know if you can see from this distance, but on top of that tenement at the left, up on the roof, there's about 100 pigeons. So have you ever been to the Star Bar, either recently or in the past? I'd love to hear. So I'm walking along the path that my dad probably walked hundreds of times in his life on the way back to the garage. That would have been the garage. Just there, there's Butterbiggins Road. I'm sure they're very nice inside. But as far as architecture goes, nil point. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane with me about my dad who used to work round about there in Larkfield Bus Garage, and he used to drink in the Star Bar. Until the next time, take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.